The full X-Men MCU plot has been cracked. Forget theories, forget guesswork. This is the blueprint. And if what we're hearing is even halfway true, Marvel might have just kicked off the most chaotic, overstuffed, universe-breaking story they've ever attempted. This isn't just another movie. This is the seismic shift that defines the next decade of the MCU. After digging through a story outline that's been quietly circulating in the deepest corners of the internet and cross-referencing it with the official leaks, the insider reports, and the chess pieces Kevin Feige has already meticulously placed on the board, the full insane picture is finally clear. This isn't just about mutants showing up with a new origin story. This is about a multiversal refugee crisis, a full-blown ideological war between brothers, and a horrifying climax that will permanently and violently rewrite the foundation of Earth 616. It's messy, it's risky, it's loaded with decisions that could either be pure genius or completely unhinged. This leak doesn't feel like Reddit fanfiction. It has structure, it has setup, it connects every loose thread Marvel has been leaving for years. Let's break it all down. Out of everyone in the MCU, no one expected the X-Men's arrival to be an extinction-level event. But according to this leak, that's exactly what it is. It starts with their home, Universe 617, being completely and utterly annihilated. This isn't a backstory mentioned in passing. It's the direct fallout from Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars. The multiversal incursions don't just threaten reality, they succeed in wiping this one from existence. The first act is a desperate escape. We see the X-Mansion in flames, the sky tearing open. It's a tragedy on a cosmic scale. Professor X, battered but alive, pushes Cerebro to its absolute limit, scanning the multiverse not for a fight, but for a sanctuary, for a new home. And he finds one, our Earth 616. Through Cerebro, he sees flashes of the MCU we know. He sees Captain America's heroism, the world celebrating the Avengers after New York, a planet that embraces its champions. He sees a paradise, a place where his people can finally be safe. But he's tragically, catastrophically wrong. When the surviving mutants of Universe 617 arrive, they're not met with open arms. They're met with fear, suspicion, and bureaucracy. Governments, still reeling from the blip and the Sokovia Accords, argue the planet cannot handle a massive, uncontrolled influx of superpowered beings. Think about it, they already struggled to accommodate the Asgardians in New Asgard. Now, millions of mutants with unpredictable powers are appearing out of nowhere. This isn't a superhero story, it's a refugee crisis on a planetary scale. This is where the classic hated and feared metaphor gets a 21st century upgrade. It's not just about prejudice anymore. It's about resource scarcity, immigration politics, and national security. It's a story pulled directly from modern headlines, wrapped in a comic book shell. That is the Marvel playbook. And the first domino in this grand chaotic plan has already fallen. The key to everything. Kamala Khan, Ms. Marvel. This wasn't a last-minute retcon. This was the plan all along. Marvel didn't just tweak her origin, they fundamentally rewired her to be the single most important character in the entire X-Men saga. The outline is explicit. Kamala will be the central character of this new X-Men film. She becomes their first and most important ally on Earth 616. She's not an outsider looking in, she's the bridge. The leak describes scenes where she guides the younger, more disoriented mutants, characters like Jubilee and a teenage Cyclops, through the complexities of the human world, seeing her own family's immigrant struggles reflected in their experience. She understands what it feels like to be an outsider. She's not just meeting the X-Men, she is the proof of concept for everything that comes next. And that's where the real conflict ignites. Because this story isn't about stopping a monster. It's about a deeply personal ideological war between two brothers. At the start of the film, Professor X and Magneto are friends. More than friends, they are brothers, united by the unimaginable trauma of watching their entire world burn. They lost everyone. Their friendship is forged in apocalyptic fire. But their philosophies fracture the moment they arrive on Earth 616. Xavier, ever the idealist, sees the political resistance and preaches patience. He believes in humanity's potential for good and is convinced that through education and outreach, they can win their trust. He's seen a world of heroes. He believes in that dream. But Magneto, a man who has already watched his people be hunted and exterminated once, sees only a ticking clock. He sees history repeating itself. He looks at the fear, the containment camps being proposed by world governments, and he refuses to let his people become victims again. He's not a villain. He's a survivor. This isn't good versus evil. It's two men, forged in the same tragedy, who arrive at two completely different and equally dangerous conclusions. And that brings us to the final, most brutal part of the plan. The leak claims that Magneto, in his desperation to protect his people, discovers something monumental. He doesn't just stumble upon it. He uncovers old buried research, perhaps from S.H.I.E.L.D., perhaps even from Hydra's original genetic experiments, confirming a theory. Humans on Earth-16 also possess a dormant X gene. He learns that this gene can be activated by exposure to specific cosmic radiation, the same kind of energy that radiated from the Infinity Stones, the same energy that created Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, the same cosmic energy that unlocked Kamala Khan's powers through her ancient bangles. And in the film's devastating climax, Magneto makes his move. But he doesn't declare war on humanity. He enacts a plan he believes is an act of ultimate salvation. He uses Kamala and her bangles, not as a weapon, but as a broadcast antenna, to trigger a global activation event. A wave of cosmic energy washes over the entire planet, forcibly activating the dormant mutant gene in every human who has it. He isn't trying to create an us versus them world. He's trying to make everyone us. He believes if everyone is a mutant, no one is. What started as a story of survival is now a full-scale global emergency. The X-Men arrived as refugees, but Magneto has just turned their new home into a war zone. Millions of new, scared, and dangerously powerful mutants are appearing overnight. The world descends into chaos, and the Avengers are forced to respond. This is the wildcard move. This is the moment that changes the MCU forever. This is Avengers versus X-Men. The conflict isn't about good guys and bad guys. It's about control versus freedom. The Avengers, led by Captain America Sam Wilson, argue that Magneto's actions have endangered the entire planet. They believe the new mutants must be contained, registered, and controlled for their own safety. It's the Sokovia Accords all over again, but on a genetic planetary scale. But the X-Men, now led by a hardened Cyclops and a defiant Storm, refuse. They see the Avengers' protection as just another cage. They've already lost one home. They will not let their people, new and old, be imprisoned in another. The leak describes the battles: Hulk versus Juggernaut, a clash of unstoppable forces; Captain America versus Cyclops, a tactical battle of two leaders who refuse to back down; Storm versus Thor, a literal storm of gods fighting in the skies. And the worst part? This entire war, it's just a setup. This is the moment where the whole plan unravels, and you realize you've been watching the wrong villain all along. While the heroes of two worlds are tearing each other apart, a new power has been rising in the shadows, one that sees this chaos not as a tragedy, but as a glorious, unprecedented opportunity. The leak describes the final, chilling scene in detail. As heroes fight heroes, we cut to a dark, sterile laboratory. A shadowy figure stands before a bank of monitors, displaying news feeds from around the world. He isn't watching the fight. He's cataloging. He's observing the new mutants, the powers, the genetic variations, the sheer scale of it all. A cold, cruel smile spreads across his face as he sees the endless genetic potential now available to him. He was the one who secretly leaked the genetic research to Magneto. He knew exactly what the desperate survivor would do with it. He didn't cause the crisis. He engineered it. He wasn't trying to win a battle. He was creating the perfect harvest.